nothing but fishing thing.
That's it. Let's see. As you can see, we've just arrived at Longleat. Not quite as picturesque as it was last time I was here. The weather's pretty grotty. But me, Georgie Pond, say hello. Hello. Pop your red run. Hello. And Tom, who's behind me, are going fishing. Obviously, we're not just going to film ourselves going around Longleat. Although if that's what you request, comment below, and one day we might do it. God, I'm turning the wheel there, was it? Right then, you join us at Longleat for a 24-hour session. It's myself, George, that's me, and Thomas. Tom. Yeah, we're here for 24 hours at Longleat, as I just said. Haven't had anything yet, we've been here a couple of hours, but weather-wise is wet, damp, dreary, a bit like George's company, so you might see him later on when he's eating or something. Yeah. But other than that, there's not a lot else to talk about. I'll show you around the swims that we're fishing, probably show rigs later on, and before George ruins this scene by being an absolute cock behind the camera, I'm going to end it there. Anything else to add, Tom? No. We're kind of fishing down towards the dam end. Tom's in the swim to the left of me, which is on the dam. I'm the one in the middle, and George is just to the right of me. Left rod is out probably 30 yards. It's kind of before mid-water. And on that rod, I'm putting out the GLM, Pioneer Baits GLM. Smells lush. I've got one of them on the hook as well. Simple hair rig set up with just a bit of tubing on the eye and a little bit on the bottom of the hook, just to bring the hair so the hair hangs just below the hook, and a little bit putty on the rig itself, just to pin it down. And that's over a bed of the GLM and this very cheap standard pellet from my tackle shop, Hobbs's, and that's the pellet that I used in my first ever session up here. I thought I'd go back and have a watch of my first sessions up here, which I did alright on, and that's the pellet I used, and Boiley's simple rigs, that's what I did well on. So I've gone back to very simple tactics on the left rod. On the right rod, however, I've gone for a completely different approach to what I normally would. Literally just corn, frozen corn from Lidl's, got 2 kilos of it, and I put about 10 to 15 spods of that on the right rod, and the rod itself is a stiff hinge with 3 grains of corn, and it sits beautifully, so hopefully that's just sitting amongst it all, and if the fish start feeding on the corn, they'll take my one. Had a few beeps already, but it's probably just the odd gust of wind and that. Fishing semi-slack line, because as you probably know, I used the ESP synchro line, so I'm fishing fairly slack, just let it lie on the bottom, because while I'm fishing I had a lead about before when I got here, and I'm fishing on clear spots, but as you bring the rod in, between where I'm fishing and where my rods are on the bank, there's a bank of weed, so there's no point backleading or anything, like I've said before when I fished up here. So I was fishing slack so that the line will go over the weed and lie on the bottom. I've also taken off my Cord of Safe Zone leaders. They're kind of clay in colour. Idea being that because I'm using the synchro, it's quite a heavy line, it sinks anyway. I've just put 3 blobs of putty along the line by the rig itself, just to pin that last bit down, but so it's really clear in the water, because being mainly weed in this lake, the ESP line should just disappear, but stay on the bottom. And then I've just simple bolt clips set up, Gardner bolt clips set up with a quick change swivel, and obviously then to my rigs. So that's the setup that I'm fishing with. I'm sure if I recast later or if I catch a fish, I'll show you the rigs in more detail. But I'm feeling confident I'm going to put out quite a bit of bait. I'm not going to put out as much as the last time I came, because that just seemed to kill the swim. George is spodding at the moment, a bit of spod mix, and I think Tom's put in a bit of hemp and things on his swims, on his spots. So stop rambling, I'll show you around the lake a bit more, around the swim. Hopefully soon we'll have one. We've been here a few hours, so it'd be nice to pick off the first one soon.
Hello, you join me here in my bivvy, and I'm going to talk you through what I'm doing. Not that it's going to work or anything, but hey ho. Left rod, I'm fishing down the end, there's the dam's here, so I'm fishing, I've got left rod down the dam to quite a deep spot. Sort of like, it feels like a little bowly kind of thing, nice and clear. Got fishing GLM boilies over a bed of chili hemp, and the right rod's out into mid-water, just fishing straight GLM boilies with some boilies scattered around it. And now there's ducks coming over to eat my rod, so...
Yes, because ducks always eat rods.
Yeah.
Idiot! Yeah, Tom.
Yeah?
Don't tell George, I bought some weed.
Oh yeah?
I know it's against rules, but do you want a quick bit?
Yeah, go on Ed.
It's the highest grade from Canada. Man! Want to try some?
I'm good, man.
We've got a lot to get through.
I don't think I can handle it.
Well, it's now 4:10. Still no fish. Confined to the bivvy at the moment because it's started to rain. Has been probably the last 20 minutes or so. I've actually got a zig out on the left rod because it's quite warm. No activity on the bottom. So I put a 5-foot zig out on the left rod, and so did George. But no action on that as of yet. But rain seems to be easing off at the moment, so I'll have a cup of tea. So it's already boiled. Stick that on. But yeah, there's no fish even showing in front of us. We've seen a couple of fish have been caught from someone down on the point swim, but other than that, we haven't seen any fish showing or anything. So not sure whether we're off the fish or whatever, but we haven't seen any down the lake either, other than, like I say, the couple that have come out. So we're going to stick at it, obviously. Hopefully pick one off sometime in the near future. I'm hoping that as it gets a bit cooler tonight, because it is still quite sort of sticky and close today, so it's quite warm. Hopefully the fish will start to move down towards the bottom, and find our baits and our baited spots. That's the plan anyway. suicidal. Right, Tom?
Yes.
Oh, cheeky bum bum.
Oh!
That's the most excitement we've had for about an hour. George is also blanking. You feeling suicidal?
No, I'm confident. I'm confident.
Oh, chili's getting hot.
Waste of time.
It's time for din-dins because there's no fish to hold up. Hopefully I'll have a fish soon. And these two. Fish in general would be nice to see. That's the update. Good night. Right, and I thought that before I cast back out I'd show you my setup. Like I said earlier, I've taken the leader off just with blobs of putty along the main line. Straight to a lead clip system and then quarter anti-tangle sleeve on the rig, straight down to a simple hair rig. Thank you, Tom, for thrusting behind the camera. And there we are, hanging there with a little bag of pellet and ground up boilies. I'll flick this one back out, fit a few boilies around it, and hopefully have one this evening / through tonight. Put your penis away. So mature, Tom. Oh, actually, yeah. Once I've cast out, I'm just slacking off the line, the rod right under the water, just trying to get the line down. We've had a lot of floating weed today, just taking out our lines and just pulling them all down the lake. So I'm going to try and get my lines as sunk as possible, and then sort of tighten up once I've got the hang on. So I still get indication, but just hopefully stay out of the way of the weed. I'm going to do the same with the right rod now, and we should be set for the evening. And just before I cast this one back out, same again, no leader, just putty on the line. I said earlier why. Straight to the bolt clip setup again, anti-tangle sleeve, and this time I'm fishing with a stiff hinge on the hook, or on the business end on the bait wise. Single pop-up corn and a trimmed down mulberry pop-up, and that's just going out over a bed of sweet corn. Hopefully that pink just adding in more attraction, make it stand out against all the yellow. And hopefully I'll pick one up on this rod as well. So let's go to swim ready, send it back out. So that's both lines completely sunk to the bottom, so that they're out the way of the weed, so that hopefully tonight, if the wind picks up again and the weed starts pushing through, my lines are out of the way if I haven't had a fish by then. So that's nicely set up now. I'm feeling confident for the night. As both rods set up, should be perfect presentation out there. I hope one of us has a fish tonight. Bloody hope so. Stunning scene to end the day. I don't know what is. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right, well that's it. It's 20 past 11 at night now. We got quite excited just before it was, well, just as it was getting dark. Fish absolutely everywhere in front of all of our swims. Rolling, jumping, swirling, fizzing, and we thought we were certainly going to get a bite. And then, as if someone just clicked their fingers, it just kind of stopped, and bloke down the other end of the lake had a screamer. So we don't know what was going on there. Absolutely nothing taking our baits. Like I said, it's just 20 past 11 now, so I'm gonna get in the sleeping bag. It's getting a bit cold now actually. The cloud is completely gone, there's no cloud cover, and the temperature's dropped quite a bit. But yeah, the odd beep here and there now it's nightfall, so hopefully it won't be long. I'll be jumping out of my sleeping bag to hit a rod. But for now, unless we have one in the night, I'll see you in the morning. Morning, it's 25 to 7, and as you can probably tell, no fish in the night, which is absolutely incredible because I was getting touch after touch after touch. I tried to make a note of when I was getting some of the touches as well. I think 25 past 12 not last night was the first touch. It was quite a big line bite on the left rod. Pulled up and I was watching it, and it went all the way back down to exactly where it was, so I know that wasn't a fish. But half an hour later, I think it was 10 past 1, I had the same rod again, picked up, went up to the alarm, and then went all the way back down. I was watching as I was just going to get my shoes on, then it all went back down, so I thought, oh, another liner. But then instead of staying there, it started creeping back up again and just got up to the hanger, so I thought there must be a fish on there. Struck it, absolutely nothing there. And that was at 10 past 1 last night. So already gutted, but I thought we've still got the rest of the night ahead of us, so I made up a bag. I cast it pretty much blind to where I think I was fishing. I didn't think it was that bad, but it turned out this morning it was probably about 20 foot off my baited spot, so that's unfortunate. Oh, right rod just pulled up. Not gone slack again. And yeah, moving on to the right rod. About 20 minutes ago. Yeah, it was just coming up 5:30. 25 past 6. My right rod started beeping away, pulled tight, and then just started to take line. Just as it was starting to take line, I struck it. Again, absolutely nothing there. So yeah, as you can probably tell, I'm not in the best of moods, because my rods just were going all night. I've had barely any sleep, probably an hour altogether, because every time I was just about to drift off, I'd have a couple of beeps, or three, 4 beeps, little liners, and it has just kept me awake. So no sleep, pretty much whatsoever. Bloke down the other end of the lake, I heard his Delkim screaming off a couple of times in the night, so he's obviously had a few, and again this morning he's had another one, I've heard. George nothing, and Tom nothing, so I seemed to be on the fish last night, but yeah, chance is gone. Well, I say that it's 20 to 7 now. I've just recast the right rod, obviously, because I missed a fish, and I recast the left rod. That's how I found out that my rod was far away from the baited spot, so put that back out with a little bag and boilies around it. And because it's still early, hopefully we'll still got a couple of hours this morning before the fish start to move about. It's very overcast at the moment, but so gutted that I didn't land either of those runs. Never mind, let's get the kettle on and wake up a bit. Just working out, we've been here just coming up 24 hours. 24 whole hours. 3 of us fishing and not 1 fish on the bank. Well, it just started to have a take, which looked like a liner, so we left it. And it went all the way back up really slowly up to the hanger again and started taking line. So struck it, and I have actually got one on, and it feels like one of the little stockies, but at the moment we're happy with anything. So yeah, over that line now. same sort of strain, isn't it?
Right, okay.
Here we go. It's taken over 24 hours to catch one, and I've gone and ended up catching one of the little stockies. But not to complain. It's taken such a long time that any fish is good to see. Really strange bite, as I was saying. It looked like a line bite. Went up and then went back down, then went back up again, and started taking line really slowly. And that's obviously the sign that it was a fish on, not just a liner. He's about to wriggle. But yeah, although he's small, it's a pretty little fish, and it looks like the same sort of strain as the stockies that we've got in Newton Park. But it'd be nice to pick up one of the bigger ones. So if I get the rod back out, hopefully have another one this morning. But yeah, happy days. It's not a blank. Let's get him back. Here we go. It's not a carp, but the second fish of the session. Oh, I don't really mind bream too much if they're this size. It's when they're little and just flop about on the way in. Covered in spawn. What even is that? Is it spawning?
Spawning nodules.
Spawning nodules. Covered in it. So it absolutely stinks, and it's probably PB bream. So I'll hold them up again. There we are. One more look at him. Got a big old bream. And this answers our question on whether there is actually bream in it. Clearly, yes. Let's take one picture of it. I know it's a bream, but still. Well, we're packing up, as I said, and literally the rods, it's just the rods left, and the net and everything. And my right rod, which is the stiff hinge, with a piece of pop-up corn and a trimmed down mulberry pop-up, has just absolutely flown off, completely one toner, and completely opposite of the other takes that we've been having, well that I've been having, and it's absolutely screamed off. And it's 5 to 11. Our ticket officially ends at 11, so this is very much a last minute fish. If I can get it in, it feels a bit of a better fish than the first one. It's quite pale as well. This will be my first ever fish on a stiff hinge as well if I get it in. Not big as I thought, but never mind. Sort of a pretty good scrap compared to the first one. Definitely better than the bream. Scaly one, it's not one of the stockies, it looks like one of the older fish.
So it wants to tangle you up, it's trying hard.
I haven't been fishing leaders either, you see some proper cutty on the line. Nailed! Let's get it on the mat. Here we go then, as I said, right at the end of the session. It's gone 11 o'clock now, so we really do need to start bringing the rods in. But this one absolutely peeled away on the right rod, and I think it's probably spawn filled, because from what we heard they started spawning last week but only some of them did, and this fish feels absolutely solid on its belly. Probably about 16, maybe 17 pounds, it's so heavy with spawn. So this is more the size of fish we wanted to be catching, but never mind. Lovely way to end the session, and it's almost a leather. It's got a couple of scales on the top just below the dorsal, but other than that it's almost a complete leather. But beautiful fish. Just show you the other side as well anyway, because it's in good condition. Alright, so there we go, there's the other side. Like I said, that fell to the stiff hinge rig, which was a pop-up corn and a trimmed down mulberry pop-up over a complete bed of sweet corn, which I just added a bit of salt to. I've never tried that before, just wholly sweet corn, but I've had a couple of runs off of it. I only managed to land the one, but cracking end to the session. Grab a few pictures and then we'll slip him back. Well, I had already filmed an outro because we started to pack up. It looked like the end of the session, and yeah, it looked like it was going to be a pretty poor session, but that rod's absolutely screamed off, and I just had a lovely mirror. We didn't weigh it, but it felt like it was full of spawn. Really solid feel to it, and it felt heavy when I was putting it in. So normally I'd say it's around a mid-double, but I think with spawning it's probably up to about 16, 17. So that's more the sort of size we were after, and a great way to end the session, so I'm a bit more happy now. Shame that Tom and George didn't have any fin, but oh, well, it was still nice to be out. So this is going to be the outro, so I'm going to bring the left rod in now. Not going to bother recasting. So cheers for watching, like, subscribe, find me on Facebook, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ta for now. Probably tell from behind us. Here for 24 hours, we've been here 3 hours. Not had any. Oh, yeah.
Right, restart that.
Yeah, we are going to have to, aren't we?